Today we're talking about closed door romance, one of my favorite genres. For anyone that's new here, my name is Natalia Veliz. I'm a Puerto Rican girl here living in LA. I love anything from writing, acting, filmmaking. I'll be doing a lot of that and more. So if you like anything of that, subscribe. And if you love books, then subscribe. And let's start this video. The first book we're going to be talking about is one of my favorite. It's called Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I really heard this from the booktuber Haley, and I bought it. I didn't even question it. I bought it, I read it on a plane on my way to Puerto Rico, and it was amazing. It's basically a rom-com in a rom-com. It has rom-com quotes in every chapter. It has music references and stuff like that. It's beautiful. You like music, you like movies, this got it. You like a rom-com, you like enemies to lovers, you like fake dating, it has it. Literally the banter, the relationship, amazing. So it's basically about this girl named Liz. She's like a hopeless romantic daydreamer kind of girl, just like me. She just lost her mom and is dealing with, coping with that, but at the same time she's going through all the high school thing that you go through when you're a senior. But something happens. Her old crush, her old-time crush, came back to town, and she's committed to make this last years of high school memorable by making her hopeless romantic dreams come true. So she's trying to get Michael to finally notice her, and she realizes that her neighbor, her obnoxious but cute neighbor, is friends with Michael. So she's like, that's my way in. Michael's my neighbor, even though I can't stand him, that's my way in. So she makes a deal with Michael, and so he and her, they both scheme to try to get Michael to notice her. And through all that, you can all, if it's enemy to lovers, what do you think is gonna happen? But it's an amazing read, super fun. I love this book. I rate it 5 stars, and I totally recommend it. I say it's so worth it. It's a New York Times bestseller. Lynn Painter, I became a huge fan of her since this book, and she's an amazing author, amazing person. I follow her on Instagram, love her. I do say that I am a fan of her YAs. I have not read the adult ones, but her YAs are amazing and they're very popular. So I would say buy this one. So the second book I have is not very popular, but the author is. So it's 19 Step by Millie Bobby Brown. This book actually got into the New York Times bestseller. It also got a lot of hate because a lot of people were like, Millie Bobby Brown didn't write it just because she had a ghostwriter. So ghostwriter means someone helped her with this book. So basically, Millie Bobby Brown went to her and told her,
hey, this is an idea I have for a book. It's based on my family's history. I want to make this a book.
And Caitlin, my girl, helped her do that. So at the end, they just ended up putting her name here, and that got her a lot of hate. But she does give Kathleen credit on her Instagram and on the acknowledgement, but people gonna hate. So it's a coming of age historical fiction. Also has romance, but it's based on, like I said, Millie Bobby Brown's family history. It takes place in World War II in London. It's just follows this girl named Nellie. She's 18 years old and follows her through this war, what she had to deal with, what her family and friends had to deal with. But in between all that darkness, she meets this American boy named Ray, who's an airman that she met because he's stationed nearby. And we basically see their relationship grow through this horrible time, and a lot of tragic happens. So it's gonna make you cry. So beware if you get to the second part that is more in the middle. You're gonna be hooked and you're gonna cry. So do not read it at night because you'll be prone to have nightmares. Or be like me, read it at night and stay awake until 4 a.m. and then watch Disney Plus, and that way you'll be able to sleep. But anyways, I think it's totally worth it. I rated it 4 stars. I rated it 4 stars because I love the story. The story was beautiful. I like the tragedy. I like everything. I just found the writing a little bit too simple for my liking. And plus, it was written in 3rd person, and I prefer my books in 1st person. So that's why I rated it 4 stars. But the story was so beautiful, and I read it so fast, so I really liked it. I love a book that makes me cry. The third book that we got today is Meet Me in the Margins by Melissa Ferguson. This book It's not very popular. She is a best-selling author, but this book, I have not heard much of it. I heard about it once, and when I saw that the main character, Savannah, she's a writer, that's what caught my attention because I love writing. So I was like, wait, I want to read more about a character who's a writer. Yeah, Meet Me in the Margins is basically about Savannah. She is an editor at a publishing house where she's writing a romance novel in secret because they literally edit anything except romance. Like, they look down on romance. So she has to write this novel in secret. She found this secret room in her work where she would go and work on it, and one day she left it there by accident, and when she comes back to pick it up, a mystery person is writing in the margins, and you can see where it's going. They start chatting in the margins, he starts helping her edit it, and so there's romance in there. I do gotta say, I felt like this could use more and more romance. They also focus on her family and her family drama, and I feel like that took away from the story that I wanted to see. But I like seeing this world, and I like reading about a character who's a writer. But with that being said, I did rate this one 3 stars just because I wanted to see more romance and less family drama. I did not like her family at all. I say it's worth it, but there's other books that are more worth it. So you make your own decision if you think this is a good match for you and if you think you should buy it. So next one is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. It's same author as Better Than the Movies. This book was also a New York Times bestseller. I hesitated to read it because I thought I was gonna get bored reading about a girl that's repeating the same day, but literally it's so good. So it's about Emily. She's reliving Valentine's Day, which was her worst Valentine's Day ever. She had this whole plan because she's like a perfectionist, to-do list kind of girl like me, and a planner, and then Valentine's Day does not go anything according to her plans. Literally goes horribly. She finds her boyfriend cheating. She runs into this guy, and then the day ends and she keeps reliving the same day over and over again. With her reliving those days, she tries new things, starts being a little bit more spontaneous, and starts forming a connection with this dude that she didn't know before. And it's just a beautiful romantic story that builds in from that. So yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, it's her reliving the same day but differently, and things start changing depending on how she changes. And I think it has a great message too of living in the moment and not being so ahead and trying to have control over everything. And I don't know, I related to her a lot because I feel like I'm very of a planner and control freak and perfectionist, and I've been trying to work on that, and I really liked the message behind this amazing, cute story. And also this one made me cry, laugh. Honestly, all the ones I've had, except Meet Me in the Margins, all the ones I've mentioned, they all deal with coping a loss of something or someone. So they all have sad moments, but also funny moments and beautiful romance. And that's what I love in books. So this one is like those. Yes, this one's a 5-star, and yes, it's totally worth it. And February, the month of Valentine's Day, is the perfect time to read it. So get it. This one is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walter, and this one is a USA Today bestseller. This one was kind of viral on TikTok, especially during summer. So I bought it. What I found curious was that it's literally like a romance, but most of the novel takes place during a game. Let me explain. It's basically about Meredith. Her family every year plays this game of assassin all together, and this year they're doing it at the same time as one of their family members' wedding. They're all at this Martha's Vineyard together with her cousin's family and her fiance's family, and they're playing assassin. But at the same time, she has been coping with her sister's loss. Her sister passed away, so she's been coping with that, and she's been a little closed off. So this summer she wants to come back into the world again and reconnect with her family and friends, and she makes it a mission to win this assassin game in honor of her sister's legacy. And so in between that, She makes an alliance with a guy she's never met before from the other family, and that alliance kind of forms into a little bit more. So yeah, so it's like a romance that takes place in the middle of a game, that takes place in the middle of her coping with her sister's loss, and in the midst of a wedding celebration. Great book. When I rated it 4 stars because I did like the concept of everything happening with them playing a game. I do think at the time what I didn't like was there was too many characters, and that got confusing for me. I had to stop and try to remember who's who. But other than that, I rated it 4 stars because I loved it, but I just didn't love it enough as the other 2 that I've rated 5 stars. But I do think it's a good read. It's one of the best ones I've read, and I think it was just very unique that everything took place in the middle of a game and a wedding, and yeah, fun read for summer. So talking about summer, this next book has been very, very popular. So popular they made it into an Amazon show. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know where you've been, but I'm talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, which they are 3 books. And if you have not seen the show and want to see it, read the books first. The books are superior. I do love the actors a lot from the show. There's certain things that they've done in the show that they've changed from the books that I'm not a fan of. Like, they added some, like, story behind her mom, and I was like, no, focus on Belly. This is about Belly and the boys. Anyways, if you don't know what it's about Belly, that she goes to this summer house where she meets with Savannah and her 2 boys, and she's always had a crush on the older one called Conrad. This summer is kind of a little different. She's different, they're all grown up, and she starts noticing that they see her differently too. And so like a love triangle forms, and I don't want to give anything away, but it's super cute. And also there's also sad moments. I'm laughing because like I've realized all the books I have, someone dies or someone is dying or someone's sick or something sad is happening. And this one's like that. Something sad is gonna happen. I'm not gonna give anything away, but if you've seen the show or anything, you know what it is. But yeah, so it's sad but beautiful but cute. It makes you want to go to Cousins Beach. It makes you feel like you're in summer. It makes you like, it made me want to go to the pool at night, and I did. When I read this, I was in Puerto Rico, and I was literally like becoming Belly. I was going for swims every night. I was like, wow, like Chino, what's up, you know? And as you can see, this book has gone through it. So yeah, I rated it 4 stars because they were really good, but like, I don't know, after you read something like Better Than the Movies and The Do-Over and other ones that I've read, you kind of see like, okay, they have something that this one didn't have, but this one's really good. So like solid 4.5 stars. I say they're worth it. They're easy reads. They're fun. They make you want to like go to the pool, go to the beach. It feels like you're in summer. Like, it's such a summer book. Like, I love it. You should always read this once in summer, or now if you miss summer. So the next one is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Sarah Adams is known for the cheat sheet and for being a closed-door author. So most of her books are closed-door romances. It's about Amelia. She's a pop star who wants to get away and like take a break from her life as a pop star, and she wants to go to Rome, and the nearest Rome is Rome, Kentucky. So she ends up in Rome, Kentucky, which is a small town. Her car like breaks down in front of a guy's house. The guy is this dude right here who owns a pie shop, and basically because we get both POV. This is a dual POV, so we have some chapters that are from his POV and others from her. He's a guy that like judges her because she's a pop star and kind of doesn't want her being here in the town and like judging the town and stuff like that. So in a way, she teaches him like to not judge a book by its cover, and like he teaches her that like there's beauty in this small town and in the normal life and stuff like that. So yeah, I did like in this book that I learned a lot from her character, especially her struggles and all that. Like, I love that about the book. I did rate it 3 stars because I did not love it as much as I loved other books. Like, I felt like it did not make me like cry and laugh out loud and other feelings that I always look for in a book. The next one is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adam, and this one follows Annie and Will. Annie is Noah's sister and Will is Amelia's bodyguard. So it follows them. She is the owner of the flower shop in town. It's the same small town, Rome. And she basically wants to complete her life and find a partner, but in the small town it's been hard. She like sees the bodyguard that he literally can get anyone he wants, and she asks him about dating advice. So he starts training her and helping her become a good bachelorette so she can potentially go on great dates and find her soulmate. This book, unfortunately, I rated it 2 stars. It felt like everything was about like talking about how sexy he is and stuff like that. So I was just not a fan of that. I want to read about connections, about how funny or quirky or like have like deep conversations. And it just felt like it was more focused on physical attraction, and I did not relate at all to the characters. And the last novel is Betting on You by Lynn Painter, the same author as Better Than the Movies and The Do-Over. This one was also a New York Times bestseller, so as you can tell, all her YAs are New York Times bestseller and are all mentioned in this video. Anyways, Betting on You is basically a dual POV, so we see both of the characters' point of view. Is enemies to lover, fake dating kind of tropes. And it follows Bailey as she gets a new job, and one of her coworkers is this guy she once had a not so good interaction, which is Charlie. And so they're like literally opposites, and they don't get along that well, and they have this playful fighting kind of relationship, kind of like distant relationship. But they relate on deeper things, like they're both dealing with divorced parents and all the drama that comes with that. So they kind of get into conversation about that. They end up as co-workers making a bet, which is, betting on you. They end up making a bet of some co-workers they have. Charlie thinks that a boy and a girl cannot be friends. And Bailey thinks that a boy and a girl can just be friends, like no feelings are always involved, but he feels like a boy and a girl, if they're friends, feelings are gonna get involved. So the whole book is basically like their bet, but also their relationship going from enemies to something more. Super cute. Also deals a lot about anxiety and divorce, parents, problems and stuff like that. I did like this book. It's very similar to certain things from her other books. Like she also mentions like music and movies and stuff like that. Like you can tell the author is a Taylor Swift fan. I did, however, rate this book 4 stars because it just didn't hit the same as the other 2. It did not make me laugh out loud as much or cry as the other books, and I feel like it may be because I did not relate to the characters as much as I did in the other ones. Like I couldn't find any similarities, so I couldn't resonate, so I didn't totally get involved in this story, but I did like it. It was a fun time. If you relate more, you may give it a 5 stars. It's like a feeling, like if it didn't give you that feeling of 5 stars, it didn't give you that feeling. But I do love Lynn Painter, and I hate rating that book 4 stars because I do love her as an author. That's all the novels I have today. So if you like this video, please thumb up. Please, if you are not subscribed, subscribe. I will be making more book content, and if you are a book lover, especially Closed Door, follow. I'll be making more content like that. Also, if you have other novels that I did not mention, leave them down below because I love new recommendations. I also read other types of book like self-help book, memoirs, filming, writing, acting, thrillers, and different genres. So any type of genre, anything book related, let's talk about it. Yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, bye.